Hey, welcome into another episode of the Behind the Punch podcast. I'm Caden. I'm here with Jake, and we're joined today by Ryan Gregory. He is an author. He's a coach. He's done basically everything in the boxing world, and he's also a father. We'll get to the author thing in just a second. But Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's awesome to be here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. All right, man. We got some exciting stuff today. I really want to break down a lot of things, whether it be your backstory, whether it be things about the book, whether it be things about the boxing as a whole, as an industry, how it's changed over the years. We're going to jump into a lot of topics today. First and foremost, let's talk about this book. Buy the link in the bio, Blood on Canvas, Between Bells. Go get your copy. It's fantastic. But let's jump into a little bit of backstory here, okay? Sure. I know we were talking off camera a little bit. Maybe something happened maybe in middle school that got you a little excited about boxing. Is that what I heard? But what really sparked your interest into wanting to get into this fighting profession? What was it for you?
Growing up, upbringing was a little wild. We won't get into that, but I got into a scrap in middle school. Just happened, and I didn't know what to do. The guy was all over me, hitting me, jumped on my back for a minute, tried to choke me out.
Oh,
I just stood up, didn't know what to do, and it was over. But I wasn't really hurt, but I didn't. I'm one of my good friends, Heath. He's like, you really got to learn how to fight, man. So he started trying to teach me Kempo in his backyard. And then I went to official karate classes and Kempo classes, but I didn't really like it too much because it was kind of the theory of hitting. Like I had a lot of stuff inside that I really wanted to hit people. So, and it's different back then than it is now. Boxing was everywhere. And it was hard to find a specific kind of martial arts. And now you have different kind of martial arts every other block. But it's hard to find an official, credited, awesome boxing coach. So I started boxing with no coach. There was nobody in Cache Valley and just jumped in.
Okay, so almost like I wouldn't say out of fear, but just wanting to learn how to protect yourself better. Because how old are you? You're like, what, 14?
I wanted to hit people.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. Not just self-defense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I had that itch.
Okay. So you wanted to get in the ring at a younger age?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
that's exciting. Okay.
Yeah. In the 80s, man, you had all those movies, you had all the Rocky movies that were in the past.
Right.
Karate Kid and, I wanted to be Steven Seagal, man. I wanted to do that cool stuff, but I couldn't find a keto anywhere. And then now, years later, finding out what a karate was. But hey, it's a good thing I started boxing. So
no, that makes sense. Just the time of everything going. And you mentioned, what makes a accredited official boxing gym? You said you couldn't find one back then, or what makes them? What makes that?
Back then, they were everywhere but Cache Valley. It was wrestling based. There was a couple karate studios. It was more Utah loves their wrestling, their high school collegiate wrestling. That's why MMA does so well out here, because it has a wrestling base. Yeah, the grappling.
It sounded like so did that bully. If he was going for your back trying to choke you out, it seemed like he had a little bit of wrestling in him too, a little bit.
He wasn't even one of the bullies. He just had a loud mouth, and so did I, and it just escalated.
You guys were just running it.
Wait, did you win that fight?
No.
Man.
I didn't do any damage at all. I didn't know what to do. So had to learn how to fight, man.
But you did say you weren't hurt.
Yeah.
You didn't feel, you don't remember it.
No, the most I was lightheaded. I just didn't know what to do. He was trying to choke me, and I'm like, then I just stood up with him on my back and tried to slam him up against the wall. I didn't know what to do. Yeah, and my friend Heath was just like, "That's it, man. You got it."
He didn't jump in and help.
What a friend, bro. He just judged from the sidelines. He didn't even help you out.
I think that's the only fight outside the ring that nobody jumped in. It's never one-on-one except for that one instance. That was it was wild. But it was a gym locker room, so weird situation.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a towel and run over to get some? I mean, it's just not gonna.
Well, that's a good wake up call. That's a good wake up call to know you need to learn these skills. You need to learn how to fight. You know, when did you make the transition into the coaching aspect?
So I competed from I got into it 16, I started getting more serious.
Mhm.
18, I was competing. I competed from 18 to 24.
Mm.
I didn't have that many amateur fights because, again, no coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I just bounced up. Back then, you had a lot of, I hate the term semi-pro because it wasn't even close to pro, like tough man contests, boxing smokers. They don't do it now today. Events where they pop up with, 2 weeks notice, 1 month notice, not backed by an official program. So that means no insurance, no. And so, if you compete on one of those now, you lose your license if you're a true professional. So I did a few of those, and I was pretty strong and doing okay. About half and half wins and losses. And I'm just like, I just wanted to learn on the fly and learn as much as I could. And so I'd travel from place to place and train for a little while and take a lot of notes and figure out how it went. And just everything I learned was just hands-on.
Wow.
Because then I had to go back home and work.
Yeah.
Because there's,
Okay, so you started making the transition was what, around age like 20?
24.
24?
24, I retired. Like,
okay.
Yeah, I'd made it all the way. I spent a few months in Vegas, rented a room, tried to make it. I was like, because I had weight issues when I was younger, and that was handled. And then I was like trying to get anybody to get some interest in me. I'm like, sign me. I'm weight's on point. I mean, back then I had a lot of weight training, which is pretty stupid. I bulked up. I was a little heavier weight class for being shorter, but when I hit. And I've always had the chin, so I'm like, this will work. Sign me. And at 24, even in the top ranked gym, they told me to go home. You're 24. It's done. You're old. And now they don't blink an eye at 24 because MMA has taken so many of the athletes. So. Yeah, 24, they told me, hey, this ain't no Rocky movie. Go home. Yeah. And I was very depressed. I was because this was the dream. This was the, yeah, I was working in a casino just trying to, you know what I mean? I literally bounced and went out there and met a lot of people. But yeah, I took that hard. And then I'm like, okay, so if I'm not going to be the fighter, still want to be involved. So I started, being a licensed cut man, and that's kind of where I stuck around. So they paid me, set amount for the night to help protect their face. Some, because on the lower level, you just don't have that kind of money to spend, but the ones that would. And then in the middle of the fights, I'm watching the coaches while I'm trying to save this guy's face, and they're trying to get their message across. And these were all can-do past athletes. I'm not saying they weren't true boxers. They just couldn't explain it. And I was like, oh, he means you got da-da. And they're like, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And then I was like, maybe I'll start coaching,
There you go.
Yeah. And it just kind of went from there. And I did the same thing with coaching as I did when I was competing, was just traveled all over and tried to learn as much as I could. I was part of a few different coaching groups before I was officially like on my own. Yeah. Wow.
So from age 16 to about 24, you had no coach that entire time, or was there
no constant coach,
no like official coach?
Yeah.
You had like mentors and stuff throughout the way.
If you want to call them that, I was the guy that just showed up to the gym like, I'm here to fight and train, and just the attitude. And just looking back, we hate those guys, and I was that guy. Like, I was that guy.
That's so intimidating.
Showing up to events like, hey, can you corner me? I mean, it's just, it's a joke, but I didn't care.
Yeah,
I didn't care. I just wanted to fight. I did not care.
Okay, so the mindset, you just go in there, you're like, I want to fight. You like, for me, I feel like without any direction or any coaching, that would be so intimidating. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. I still don't know what to do.
When you're younger and you have conviction about something, if you truly have you don't care. Let's go. Let's go.
It seems
incredible.
I'm sorry to interrupt. It seems like you're a really good communicator. That if their own coach couldn't communicate what the fighter should be doing, but yet you could come in and you could communicate it really well. Is that where you feel like that's where you could really shine in that area?
I didn't figure that out for so many years, and when, like I said, my upbringing and whatnot. Again, we'll skip over that, but like
we don't have to skip over it.
Communication is well, we should.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it was rough. Like I started fighting because at least there's rules, and I knew who was going to hit me. You know, like like that's the guy that's going to hit me. That's fine. Like okay, that guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. But yeah, communicating and coaching that took a long time to get down. How to get through to people. How to explain. But like you said, the only thing I could explain was move for move. That was natural. That was yeah. And I didn't even know. I was like, he means this. And they're like, yeah, that's what he's saying.
If someone wanted to be a coach, should they learn how to be a fighter first, so they have some like technicality to it? They know what, or should you just go right into coaching? You think?
That's a great question. So there's so many tools available now. So we'll get into that. Of course, you should compete yourself. I mean,
the coach should compete.
If you're going to coach, you should have fought because
wow.
Well, you don't like.
You're asking a risk from the fighter.
Well, if you got a dentist's office, but you're not a dentist, like how's that?
Okay.
How's that going to go?
Okay. If
you're a competition coach, yes. If it's just a cardio boxing gym, pump people up, let's have fun. No, but if you got to have a good program to learn from. But if you got any competitors at all, you better have fought because, say your fighter's in trouble, and you never fought. And say the fighter has 10 or more fights, he knows more than you do. So he's in danger because he has no backup. If you guys know that it just doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. So if you're going to have a competition gym, yeah, you must have had experience because it's not safe for the competitor. Yeah. And there's a lot in that question. I don't think fighters should be coaches. Because it splits your focus. You know what I mean? Because you're still focused a little bit about you. When you're coaching, it's not about you anymore. It's what opportunities you can provide for them. It's all about them. It's even your structured program should progress them. So a fighter is still a little about me, which is where I went wrong in the beginning of my coaching career because I want to do everything with everybody. Like, we're doing the conditioning. I'll do conditioning with you. I should be looking at opportunities, not, they should be gelling together as a team while I'm the general instead of down there. That took years to let go. Years to let go. Yeah, so there was a lot in that question. So.
Okay, no, that's fantastic. I love it. That seems almost like a nice way to transition into the book because as I'm reading this book, it seems like a lot of self-sacrifice from your end. Well, before we get into it, can you kind of give me just a little bit about the book before we dive into talk about it? Can you give me is it a biography? Is it an autobiography? How long did it take you to just some little things on the book?
So I've made not really a bucket list, but a list of things that I wanted to do, learn this, learn that. Then I was a coach. And then I mentioned that there was no boxing available in Cache Valley. I brought boxing to my valley. That there was no gyms to train at. And then when we did start programs, we had to travel for better sparring. I mean, it wasn't until about 6 or 7 years ago we could get people ready for intermediate level, not open class or, we'd have to travel for better sparring for more than 10 fights. It took a long time to even just get to there or to put on the first show in Cache Valley. So long list of stuff, And then, so I got the idea for this book. It was COVID, the shutdown.
Right.
I'm sitting there in the fetal position on my couch in my gym, just because I'd gone through divorce, economic downturn. There was a guy that moved in across the parking lot from me that tried to run a boxing gym and he never boxed. But the pressure of it so I had all this pressure. And then the COVID shut down. I was just like, I'm like, what can I do? So I started training people over Zoom and, FaceTime and, and then I'm like, write a book. I was like, well, what should I do? Like you said, should it be an autobiography? Should it be, what should it be? And then I was like, no, I should start there because I never sacrificed more. I never did more. And everything that happened in this time period that the book is, you won't believe all the different things that just happened. Just, I didn't make anything. It's as it happened.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm enjoying reading it so far. I really like how you mentioned that you have to kind of like change the names of some people, which I completely understand that if you got to read the book and you'll realize why he did that. But I like how you name yourself Coach, and you give your point of view in a very, very nice way. You lay it out piece by piece, like you said before. If you've seen any of these amazing promo videos, you've seen that. But you laid out piece by piece, and you really, what's a good way? You let me in on where your head is at, where your emotions were at. You really are very vulnerable in this book on your emotions, on your feelings towards your fighter, towards the scenario, towards all these things, which is very interesting to hear it from your point of view, which I feel like I've definitely never heard it from before. I want to talk about like the sacrifice of it all, because as I'm reading this, I'm like, man, this, I don't want to spoil anything. So if I start to spoil it, just cut me off here. But if it's the relationship with the fighter that you have in this book, you're walking a tightrope here. It seems like a lot of sacrifice on your end. What made you decide to take the risk on the person that would, oh man, how do I say this? Would treat you
You're
this
doing
way?
good. You're doing good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're doing great.
That's treating you this way. Why would you want to sacrifice it for this person?
Well, there was a lot of backstory there.
Yeah.
That's not even in the book. There's a little bit of, I don't want to say beef, but it ended up being quite a thing. I just wanted to. Kid was amazing,
right?
And I wanted to get him. I mean, he was fighting in casinos for $300, but he was a legend in the state. And you mentioned that I originally wrote this like, boom, names, receipts, spill the tea, break the jar. You know what I mean? It's that was, but then no publishing company would take it. They're like, we can't do that. That's too volatile. And I was like, well, so and so, it'd be fine now. And they're like, we still can't do. So I had to change the names, and maybe you can figure out who it was, but I can neither confirm nor deny.
Right.
I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah.
And it even changed a couple of the moments in the book. It's not as cool as it was with the names, but anyway. Yeah.
You saw something in him.
I was just trying to correct, our relationship that I felt. I don't know how it got that way. And he was, I had to put him under a management contract, but I really didn't like what I've done with other people, try to give him more leeway. Just wanted exposure because he was amazing. I mean, he was a really good fighter. And I thought if I could do this would fix a lot of stuff. And it actually made it worse.
Yeah.
It got so much worse after.
So
anyway.
if you're a coach and you're looking at across your boxing gym, you have a bunch of fighters. If you see something in a fighter, because this question leads into, in the book, you're talking about how some of the best champions aren't always the nicest.
Yeah.
They're not always the best person to sit next to on a plane, or they're not always the nicest person to be with or whatever. But if you see something in them, you're saying it could be worth the sacrifice working with them, no matter if they don't treat you, the best.
Yeah, that's kind of a peek into the book, but yeah, you really skirted that nicely.
Thank you. I
That
appreciate
was
that.
really good. It was
Thank you.
like, yeah, but like, yeah, you brought it. Yeah, perfectly done.
Thank you.
People don't know that most of these guys are just unbearable to work with, opinionated.
Clip that.
But not out of context. You do the whole thing now. But some of them aren't. It's just that people that have that much conviction in self and have that dream. Like I said, I just wanted to hit people. That's as far as I thought. I didn't care. They just want to win, and they'll do anything to win. A true champion's mindset. They're not the easiest people to get along with. That's why you see a lot of them in the news. That's why they're winners, and they will do anything to win. Like that fight I tried to talk to you about. People were,
Yeah.
you know, it was controversial, and I was like, he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
You know, they're not always the greatest people. You know, sometimes they are, but you have to admire the conviction. To their soul, they're committed. So.
As a coach, is that something you look for? I would think so. I mean, if I'm choosing, I want the guy that maybe he's like a total jerk, but I know this he's going to push harder than everybody else. Is that like a factor you almost have to have?
Well, you're talking about behavioral and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I've found there's three main types of fighters, or somebody has skill, or they seem to have promise. They're dedicated to the training program. All of that's great, A lot of it can be taught. You must, the things that you can't coach, you need conviction. You need, a most serious attitude about it. You need that belief in self. And then down the road, when we have those things, we can train, learn some skills, but then you got to have a chin. I mean, if you don't have the chin, it's, let's do something else, and you can't fake a chin. You can't convince you, and by a chin, I mean just some people's brains move easier in their head than others. More space. That's what I mean. Yeah, more. Well, not. I'm not
like
saying
a bunch of airheads.
More space.
There's, like in the brain, in the head. I'm not saying somebody's an airhead. I'm just saying some people their brain moves more. That's what we mean by a weak chin or a glass chin. It's not the heart.
Right.
Just that brain moves a little bit more. Like Pacquiao. I mean, he got knocked out kickboxing, his first pro fight, knocked out. His brain moves more than other people's. And to fight the way he does, knowing that he's vulnerable, that's just inspirational stuff right there. To be the aggressor when you've got a button, push it, he goes down. Like, I think he's the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
What, Manny Pacquiao's your favorite? Really?
Oh,
he's
unified champion in 8 different weight classes.
Yeah.
He started fighting at 125 pounds.
Yeah. And isn't he like a politician too?
Oh, he runs the Philippines, man. I think he bought the Philippines.
Is he fighting Mayweather again?
Oh,
I feel like that's in the talks. I've seen that.
That's a fiasco.
You don't think it's going to happen or what?
I don't know. He
They're both pretty. I mean,
well, he doesn't want to lose that O. He doesn't want to risk that O.
Right.
And so he tried to make it an exhibition, which would affect his pay. They're in negotiations. It's just not going to be what if it was just pure. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
I think they'd fight harder. The last time they fought was a letdown too. Pacquiao separated his left shoulder. I think it was 2 weeks before the fight, and they didn't tell anyone. And I bought that pay-per-view, and I got screwed. I called the, I won't use his name. I called a top-rank official that I knew. I was like, "What the hell, man? You got me on that one." Pacquiao had one arm in that fight because he had surgery on Monday. Like, it was scheduled.
Wow.
What?
They knew about his shoulder, and they went on with the fight. And then if you watch the fight, Mayweather's even a little freaked out when he knew Pacquiao had one arm. So, like, what I'm saying is, like, a Bon Jovi concert. If John Bon Jovi gets sick, you reschedule, right?
Right.
You don't move on sans John, anyway.
No, I completely hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so even that last fight was lackluster. Pacquiao had one arm, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a torn rotator cuff.
If they do fight again, though, I would like to see like a real one. When there was the Mike Tyson versus, who was it? Was it Sugar Ray Leonard or someone that he fought? Who was it? Do you remember that? It was like a Netflix one.
Oh, but Jake Paul?
No, was it Jake Paul?
It was Jake Paul.
Like one of the recent
one of the recent ones. I thought he fought like one of his older competitors, not Jake Paul.
I only watched the Jake Paul one.
I could have sworn I saw one where he wasn't like really moving. They weren't like really hitting each other. It just seemed kind of.
We're old, man.
I know. Well, they just don't do it because like if you're going to put Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao together, like I want to see you guys go at it. But if you're just going to kind of dance a little bit, you're going to have a shoulder out of commission or whatever. It's like don't even do it.
They're going to come in so sore, and so you could be able to smell the icy hot in the 4th row. I mean, it's
the icy hot in the 4th row.
The old man cologne. Yeah, it's not going to be. Should have been in the prime.
And there's no way to train the chin.
Not really. I mean, you can strengthen the neck, and you can, but you either have a chin or you don't.
Wow.
Ask any boxing coach. when you have this kid has promise, and whether you saw the skills, the drive, the whatever, everything can be coached, taught with their conviction. You can't move on without a chin. You just cannot.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a hard conversation to have with somebody. Like, I love you, man, but
okay.
I love you too much to,
go down too easy.
Well, their future life,
Yeah.
their life, the quality of their life, it's in your hands.
Wow.
It's in your hands. And if you don't take it seriously,
they'll be different. They could definitely be different
for the rest of their life.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I want to let's go into some more stuff onto the book here, but kind of just a little bit different. We're sitting here with someone that's coached. I don't know if I could ask a fighter these questions, so now I get to ask you because these will give me some insights into boxing. We're talking about wrapping a fighter's hands.
Oh.
There's different ways to do that, correct?
Yes, but there's rules. So
okay, tell me the rules. I've always been curious about this. This is like one of the main staples in any video you see of boxing. The wrapping of the hands is a huge deal, but I don't know any of the logistics actually behind it. What are the rules?
Well, there are different rules for the amateurs and different rules for the pros. You can use more material in the pros, but kind of the universal, to lump the two together, which is like astronomical difference, but it has to be about that far, like 3 fingers past the wrist. It can only go that low. Tape, when you're all done with the gauze, has to stop below the knuckles because you can't put tape over the knuckles. Amateurs, you have so much material and what's accepted.
Right.
You can use, and pros, you can use more. So like you can use an entire roll of tape as a pro. On pros' hands, you can use 2 rolls of gauze. You could use an entire roll for the pad and then a whole other roll to wrap, and then an entire roll of tape on top of that. And the amateurs, no, that's there's only so much you can use.
Interesting.
It spots where it goes.
Right.
Yeah, the regulations are very different from amateurs and pros.
Why do you want more on the pro's hand? Is it for protection, or that seems like it would soften the punch, no?
The people tend to blur the line between amateurs and pros. The amount of wear and tear already on his hands if he's a professional, the level of hitting that's going to be happening, I mean, sharp, solid. It also has to be used for defense, impact to the hand, and then, how many rounds are going to go. I mean, it's even your entry-level pro is 1 round longer than you've ever gone as an amateur fighter. It's
right.
Yeah, there's so many different ranges, and then probably, injury history.
Yeah.
You want that much material on a professional's hands.
That is very interesting. I didn't know that. Talk to me. You mentioned in the book about the ritual of going back, forth, and back into the ring. Like when you're holding the ropes for him, and he goes, you tell me, tell someone, what does that mean if they don't know? Maybe they're watching and they see the fighter. What I'm talking about is the coach will like open the ropes. The fighter will come in and he'll duck once, twice, and then a 3rd time, and then enter the ring. And I always thought that when we would see fights, I just thought people maybe just like did that for like a luck ritual or something.
I skipped a lot on the hand wrapping thing about the rules and regulations. I just tried to lump that all together. So there's a lot more to that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I just wanted to say that so I don't get murdered by a boxing coach who's just sitting there like that Leo clip, like,
Yeah.
I was just trying to condense it slowly. And this is why I'm here with you guys. Your conviction to this,
thank you.
The reading, you wanted to read the book. You didn't finish it, but you started reading the book. Exactly. There's a lot of that stuff in the book. There's a lot of explanations. I go into everything from lore to fact to skill to, and there's a lot of that stuff. So what you were talking about is the entrance of the fighter that I had. He did the triple head bop, and he himself was Mexican, Mexican descent, grew up here, but devout Catholic, and he wasn't just copying what he saw on TV. Yeah, those 3 different motions were for the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, and then he would cross himself in the corner, and pray a little bit before it started because he was a devout Catholic. And some of these, traditions are from other stories. You see people do the and move their neck.
Yeah.
Copying De La Hoya. The red headband comes from Chavez, and that's another story. And remind me the story of how that happened later.
Okay.
It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I've included all that stuff. Like, this is a true. I said I peeled back the curtain. I tried to cover as much as I could.
Well, I have to give you some applause here because as someone who's like, we do the camera and stuff for boxing, you really let me onto so many more intimate details on the sport. As someone that doesn't know a lot about boxing, or they don't know, they could still really enjoy the story, and they get to learn a lot about like what goes behind the scenes. I mean, I'm gonna ask you again. You mentioned in the book the medical. I don't know if it was like the medical records or the medical examination was so expensive. It's really expensive.
It's even more so now.
Why is it so expensive?
Oh, we're talking full. Now they want, like in some states, they want a full body MRI, an MRI of the brain.
Just to make sure that the fighter's okay and that he's all right.
Well,
is it to cover their bases, I guess?
Well, there's so many more injuries than what they were even looking at. I mean, this is from a few years ago.
Right.
And I can't say which year and what, you know what I mean? Yeah, but in the book, the costs have doubled, if not tripled. And now we have other diseases they're looking for, like CTE, stuff like that. You know, it's all about the fighter's quality of life after. I mean, can they fight with CTE? Yes. Should they? Hell no. Hell no. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Don't go in there with that. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Is
okay.
All of these tests are to make sure, you know, they're in the best condition they can be in. And if anything pops up, for your own safety, you're done.
Right.
You know. Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, the pupil dilation. Besides the scans, the blood work. The constant blood work, and now those used to be cheap, and now it's extremely expensive. So that's kind of why, you know, managing fighters, you want to get other people to pay for those medical testing because it's so expensive. So expensive.
These exams, are they at the amateur level as well, or is it just mostly for like the professional
amateur
side?
No, there's just like a physical that they use, that they send to the doctor, but professional, just to get your ABC card, you have to be current on all of your medicals, and they don't work in every state. So like California wants more, Vegas has their own, Florida has their own, New Jersey has their own. You can't just get them done and it's good across all 50 states. They all have different requirements. I think there's only about 11 states that are just conformed the same tests, and you're good to go.
Wow.
So, which is why you want to try and get on one of these bigger events, because they'll literally do the testing and out of their pocket, and you're like, thank you.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, we can cut out this question if it's it doesn't really pertain or have your opinion on it. But I'm curious. As we've talked before, go listen to our older episodes. We've talked to some other fighters and some other promoters, so go listen to those episodes. And I've asked questions on why do some businesses or people not want to get behind the sport of boxing. I hear their reason is it's a combat sport. You know, it's bloody, or it's things like that. But if you're telling me that these fighters are tested to the max to know how their brain levels are, how their bodies are, they're training with a coach for a long periods of time, why do you think that there's this kind of misconception on why people don't want to get behind the sport or maybe sponsor the sport? Is that a fair question to you?
Yeah, it's just different areas.
Yeah.
Different areas of the country.
Have you noticed that different states are more likely?
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of places you're like, man, you love your boxing here. And God, I wish I lived here. You know, because, there's a lot of places.
Well, what are those places?
It's in the local paper, of course. You know, California, Arizona, New Mexico, you know, Colorado, actually. You wouldn't believe how many people, you know, duplicate one of the first national center was in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Just to give an example, just Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix. Years ago, there was over 300 registered boxing clubs in the greater Phoenix area alone.
Wow.
So like when we were at nationals and whatever, you know, we didn't want to face DC, you know, California, kid was scared, and you're like, no, just glad it wasn't Arizona. You know what I mean? Like, you're state champ from there. You I mean, they homeschool their kids.
Wow.
Where boxing is more serious, kids don't even go to school. They homeschool so they can fight every weekend. Like,
wow.
Yeah, so maybe they're not so much behind boxing here. We
Mm-hmm.
we have little spots,
Right.
and that's because of Fulmers or Maximus or
Right.
people doing it on a bigger level
Right.
or have done it on a bigger level.
Yeah.
That's just because they trailblazed it. It wasn't here.
Interesting.
So they built it. So
Interesting. All right. Well,
Yeah.
you've been in this industry for a while now. Okay. So tell me, how do you think you've seen it shift over this period of time? I mean, all these states that you're saying are on like the West Coast. Have you seen more of a shift towards East Coast things are happening? Or, I mean,
maybe my focus was wrong there. East Coast has always been, where it's at too. Philly.
what?
Philly was
Rocky?
They still say they are big, but they're not as scary as they used to be. Philly, they're good, but when they started that stomp in front of the refs, God, I hate that.
Yeah, I do.
Where they
hate
come
that.
up and they're like, when you're like, I see you.
Yeah.
You're like, I got one job.
Yeah. I know
I-
exactly.
We saw that at the
Yeah.
I'm like-
Golden Gloves.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like 9-10, -1, right off. Back in the day when we were going to nationals and stuff, I was like, anybody who beats DC, I will be your fan for life. The guy that ran the program for Washington DC was just such a butthead. They'd announce you and he'd be all just making fun of you, dude. Like, and they were good, but
Yeah.
Texas too. They're really good program, really good program. But yeah, back east, there's a lot of great states and great programs.
Okay.
Maybe I focus too much on because that's our conference. That's
Right.
our
Mhm.
that's our
Right.
That's where we're at.
Mountain
Right.
West.
Yeah.
Mountain West.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about just in the state of Utah? Would you say in the past 20 years, grown, decreased, roller coaster? How have you seen it?
Great question, and the answer to that is in the book.
Yeah.
too. The answer to that is in the book. All the coaches in Utah have kind of took it upon themselves to elevate the skill level. We have some really good teams now.
Mm-hmm.
20 years ago, no. We were almost laughed at in certain places. You said Utah, and they were like,
Wow.
easy work. And now, I don't know how many national champions we have in respective weight classes. Utah's really come up. And from a small group of dedicated coaches,
Mhm.
just they sacrificed everything to level it up. So yeah, I mean, Aaron Garcia is doing so many amazing things with his kids, all of his kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe how many titles they have. They've really
Mm.
they've really gone big. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's
In
fantastic.
the experience. I can't pick a horrible club anymore. Everybody works with better clubs, and the skill level has seriously raised. It's kind of hard to get a win in Utah now.
Wow.
It's amazing. The
So
skill
that's a
level.
fantastic change that you've seen over the years, huh?
That's
The
incredible.
the fighters and coaches are gonna be very angry at me saying that, but I've always
Uh-huh.
said the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe we thought we were. We are now. Like,
That's fantastic
yeah.
news.
We always had the heart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I love my age group and those fighters, but the difference between the fighters now and that group from back then, it's a huge difference.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very hard to just get a win. I mean, my own team in 2018, I think we went 22-2 that year in the state of Utah, and we didn't lose till October.
Wow.
And now, I got to be honest, we can rarely get a win anymore. It's so crazy. Everybody's so good,
Mhm.
Wow.
so good. But at the same time, amazing. What amazing fights.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How far we've come.
Mm-hmm.
It's just beautiful work. Everybody's so experienced.
Yeah.
Like, I come here. This is like my home away from home
Yeah.
Mhm.
at All Heart. This is kind of their first stop when they've sparred people at home
Uh-huh.
in the gym. We're getting ready to compete. I'm like, well, we need to get out of the house. We got to, so you can do well against there's a whole world out there.
Mhm.
This is kind of our first stop away from home. I'm like, Jason, bring another one out. And he's like, okay, and they're very good with them here. They don't try to scare them, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
the
amazing
skill
news.
level has increased
I love that.
astronomically.
I love that.
There's a few coaches that we've talked to that
Mhm.
they're they're saying the same thing that you were saying before, like, oh, we're going to Utah. That's like an easy win.
Okay.
However, we haven't, I don't think we've heard yet from somebody else saying like, yeah, Utah, like we don't lose as much as we used to now. Like
Yeah.
they say
you're
like
right.
it's a slow process
You're
still. They're still working towards it.
Mhm.
But you're saying like, nah, Utah's getting a whole lot better. So what would you say to like those other coaches that kind of think Utah's got a lot of work to do?
They're still hanging on to the past. I mean,
Yeah.
if you win Utah, there's a good chance you're winning, Mountain West.
Mm.
There's a good chance you're moving on.
Mm.
Yeah, because there's some really good clubs here. They're in a a very small area out here, but they're here.
Mm.
Yeah.
It is still very exciting to hear that the sport is at least growing. Well, give me some long-term predictions. What do you think about? Will there be some places that kind of fall off? Well, do you think like a Las Vegas will turn more into MMA and they're going to die off? Or what about East Coast? Any long-term predictions for that, or even for the state of Utah?
Oh, that's a very big question.
It's a loaded one, but you're the guy that can handle it, man. I believe in you. Come on.
But that's already happened.
Give me some juicy information here. You got the insider information, and I need it.
Well, we knew boxing was going to be out of the Olympics 6 years ago, but most coaches, a lot of the coaches just focus on the training. They don't really, training their own fighters. Like I said, I've done my education. I've done my clinics. I've gone higher up and whatnot. Me and we're in All Heart, so I'll mention Jason again. We knew about the Olympic fiasco 6-7 years ago. I mean, they were spending the money. It was going bye-bye. We could tell it was going to run out. We're like, what's the plan? This is not good. And then, an anonymous donor jumped in and saved the program, but it's still out of the Olympics at this point. We don't know if it'll come back, when it'll come back. They say it is, but that check hasn't cleared yet. So, and think about it. If you remove the Olympics in any of the greater sports, that was the main goal. Just remove the Olympics from track and field.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
What's the what's the
Like,
goal?
why
you
even
going for?
compete anymore?
Yeah. Why are you doing the amateur or unpaid? Boom, let's just get right to making money. You remove the entire program. So amateurs is still, hopefully they get it all figured out.
Okay.
They say it is. I'm not a very trusting person, but I don't have anybody on that level, so great. MMA, that's a different sport. I mean, I've as a boxing coach, you almost have to coach a boxing class in an MMA gym, which is just not desirable because it's just conflicting points of view at all times.
I got something for you.
It's
I'm
crazy.
sorry to interrupt you, but what do you think about this? I've heard that they're going to start, some people that are going to start mixing boxing and like kickboxing matches, right? So like a show is normally just like a boxing show. You may have like a pro-am show or just a pro show, but now they're going to say, well, just spice it up since there's so many things. We'll do first half is kickboxing and then the second half is boxing. What do you think about that? Do you think that
those have always been there, and it's kind of okay. Yep. Here we go. I always get in trouble somehow. It's a show filler. It's you know what I mean. It's either a boxing show or it's a kickboxing show or it's MMA. There's so many different promoters and rules and laws and commissions and it's almost impossible to make it all work.
Right.
It's just too many different interests. It costs so much money to lump a few sports together, and because you're paying each commission. As a promoter, I want to pay that check. Even the pro-ams, it used to be, I don't remember how many more $1,000 to have the first half of or first section be amateur and then pro, because that's two different commissions. You got USA Boxing and then PSWAZO, the Utah State Athletic Commission on the same show. So it's astronomically more expensive because before you even pay anyone on the pro side. So it's really hard to do.
It's
really hard to
do. It kind of, in my opinion, kind of makes sense, though it seems like it kind of loses like the value or authenticity of the main event. Like you would never go to see a football game and then halfway through they throw on soccer. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It would so it kind of loses that all that like realness of it. But if like you need to fill seats and you can maybe get a bigger audience, I can kind of understand. But I don't know if I fully love it or like it yet.
Well, I'm boxing all the way. I'll never claim to be something I'm not. Some people take a class and like, I can do that too. I can teach you. Well, hell no. But like I said, I'm boxing, but man, I love a good kick to the head. The sound. Oh my God.
Gosh,
it'll change your life, dude.
What?
You got to hear a head kick. And,
It's going to change their life too.
I never, it is what it is. And I never wrestled. I never grappled. I don't know any of that. But man, I love a good slam. The noise, especially in the octagon with that, it's so loud. You're like, because it's just plywood under there, man. And I'm like, he goes up, and he goes down. I love a good slam.
Yeah,
I'm not down to watch all that on the ground.
Yeah.
I love a good head kick, man. You got to respect each sport for what they do. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds brutal.
And like I said, try being the timekeeper. You're over there, you like crack, and you're like, what second are we on? I just lost what I'm doing. You miss it, and anyway. Just like, wow.
I don't know if I could do the head kick. That seems pretty tough.
I'm not flexible enough anyway. I don't think I could get my leg up anywhere.
You don't even have to throw it. Hear it. It'll change your life, man. You're like, woof.
All right, I want to kind of start landing this plane, and I want to talk more about this book. I want to talk about the process of writing it. It was not like the easiest thing to write the book, right? There's a lot of steps, right?
Well, so like I said, I had the idea of it, and then I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew what period in my life I wanted to tell.
Right.
I never took a writing class. I never. In high school, I was top 10% in the nation and everything, and except for math, which is most of your SATs. So, like, screw that dream.
Hold on. Like top 10%
in every
like academic.
Yes, in every subject except for math. I failed algebra 2. Like,
wow.
That's all right.
And the bulk of your SAT score is math. So I'm like, well, there goes that dream. I even had AP biology. AP chemistry. Yeah, I was like in school, like when you start reading, I think, can't remember, it was 3rd or 4th grade, like they had like a page or book limit. Like I lapped everybody in the class like 4 times.
So you loved reading.
I loved reading, but I never wrote.
Yeah.
So I had this idea. I was like, I've read so many books.
Yeah.
Got this. Wow, it was so hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I lost my mind writing this book many times over, and especially through the process. So so I started writing it during COVID. And the first 2 chapters, I'm like, that is beautiful. That is solid gold. You read it. So those first 2 chapters are like,
I'm with you.
Right? And then I knew what I wanted to do, and I knew in the middle of the book, it just kind of lost the feel. Kind of lost it didn't match. The who, what, and the was there, but it didn't have the same feel. I was so pissed off that I just, when that computer, like I was even writing it on the computer for my business. It was Cache Valley Boxing at the time. When I replaced that computer and I franchised with another gym, that computer got tossed and we used a different. I didn't care because, like, completely different program. Don't bring, your stuff into another, especially when the franchise has a bigger, ideal and follow that instead of what you were doing. Also, I didn't have any problem with that. And that's where the book went. I didn't care. It was on that hard drive. So I sat there for years, and then I was talking about that I tried to write a book, and it's in the author's note. There was a gym member, and she was like, well, you can finish it with AI. She's like, you can take what you had and we can just bullet point it. She's like, we can even coach it to have the same feel that you had. I was like, oh, well, son of a, like, you like, because I knew the arc, I knew what, but I just couldn't get. So then we pulled that hard drive out, and then, we couldn't get the files off of it. I couldn't remember the password. We had another gym member like hack into it. It took him quite a while because it was an older computer, you know.
Uh-huh.
And then it was sitting on my flash drive, and then I only had a few of the chapters remaining. And she's like, and she was just like coaching me through this. You know, she's like, you know, you can use AI and da-da. And I didn't know how many authors actually use AI now. Like half of the books out there just generated, just whatever. So I was talking to her, and I was like, okay, we'll do that, but I'm gonna sit down. Maybe it'll flow. Maybe it'll come. And she's like, well, I'll still do the editing. And, you know, she's like, we got nothing but time, you know. And I sat down to try it. And it was hard at first, but it was flowing. And then I started remembering things that I'd forgotten because it was years ago. And it flowed. So this book is completely me. I used no AI, no generating software.
I love it. I
I'm
love it.
holding my breath.
No, nothing. No, nothing. And a lot of them are. And so that actually worked in my favor. So I boom, took a lot, worked through that, wrote it out. I mean, God, it was the process of it. Like I would write a chapter and then another chapter, and then I'd go back and read it again and go through it and work on that one, and then back, you know, just over and over, like maybe 5 or 6 times on per chapter, changing and getting ready. And I don't even know the writing process that most other people do.
Yeah.
Maybe it took me a lot longer than needed to, but it's all me, 100%.
Yeah.
This is what was said, how I felt, whatnot. And that worked in my favor when I started reaching for publishers. I didn't even know how that worked. So again, how far you want me to go on this?
No, I wanted to keep going because there's some really good news with the publisher, right? Who you got?
Well, that was a process too. So I started reaching out to publishers. Nobody would answer an email, a phone call. I'd go to their offices and they're like, we're not interested. Especially, I will not use their names, Utah publishers that I wanted that published a few people from reality shows, and they didn't want to talk to me. I'm just saying, they didn't want to look at it. They didn't even want to. So by the time I got around to it, I had 2 routes that were left, and which is the most way that people are published. So you have a novelty publisher, which say, you know, you wrote something, maybe you're a little famous, they take them first, but could be an average Joe. You wrote something, they publish it as is, as long as they wouldn't get sued for it. They polish it up a little bit and they charge you a ton of money.
Right.
Novelty publishing. Like it could be the crappiest book in the world. They'll slap an awesome looking cover on it and away we go.
Yeah.
You know, and then you have a hybrid publisher where you're actually accepted. Like it has an actual name behind it. They're a subsidiary of a bigger publisher. And I can't believe that's what I got. So I'm with Page Publishing, who is a subsidiary of Simon & Schuster. They have really big names. I don't even think I can mention those names, but one of my favorite authors is, you know, Simon & Schuster. So, and they're a subsidiary. They don't really, you know, but to actually be accepted. And they told me, I almost got scammed a couple times with these novelty publishers. They were reaching out. I was like, this is a little pressuring, you know? So I paid a certain package price to be published. This is the only way I was going to be published.
Yeah.
I'm still self-published, but that's the only way. I'm not an accredited writer. So that was my only route.
Right.
But like I said, accepted by a hybrid publisher. And they loved it because they said, I use it in the promo of it, but they told me, like, this is gritty, raw, and real. They didn't need me to tell them. I was like, I didn't use any AI, like proud. And they're like, we know. That's why we want real. We can see it a mile away.
Yeah.
They're like, you wouldn't believe how many people do that. They're like, and this is really well written. I was like, you just want my money. You know, like, and they're like, no, we really enjoyed it. They're like, but we need to change some names. I'm like, that'll change the whole story.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's important. But
no, honestly,
like,
I'm telling you, I don't think it really changes the whole story. Because you do so good with the emotion from yourself, from your point of view, as well as talking about how everyone else in the room was feeling, whether it be how your fighter was treating you, or how you're looking at the other coach, or your situation where you're talking with your wife, right? Things like ex-wife. And you do a really good way of painting the picture. Just because you leave out the names doesn't mean that the reader's going to like lose out on any quality. I'm telling you, it comes off really, really well.
Thank you for that. So in the writing process, like I made a joke that I'm divorced, but she's an awesome person. But anyway, an honest look at that moment in time. My feelings. I was married at that moment in time. We were awesome together. You know, not trying to take any emotions now of what happened with the fighting, my life, you know what I mean? And to honestly show just like exactly as it was.
Yeah.
And without making myself look any better. Just that's how it is. If you're in the business, fighter or coach or manager, or you can see the mistakes I made. It's right there.
Yeah.
I didn't hide them. I didn't try to. This is what happened without changing it. As you go on, there'll be some colorful situations as well.
Well, I'm excited to continue reading it. I think you've done an amazing job. I really enjoyed it. But okay, talk to me. Where can somebody get this book?
Well, the biggest distributor will be Amazon. So,
Okay.
you know, we're right on the cusp of, you know, a listing. So you'll be able to get the physical copy or ebook on Amazon.
Fantastic.
And then, you know, 5 other distributors that most people wouldn't know, but there's part of the package. That I will have it if it does well in the first 3 months, I will be able to choose a location and then like close to me of which bookstore. And like, honestly, I don't even know Cache Valley anymore. There used to be a lot of bookstores and they're not. It's mostly an online thing now. You know, so physical copy or ebook, Amazon, it'll have a listing. You know, in my bio, you guys will push it. We're all pushing it. We're right there on. I just approved it for distribution, so they're condensing all the files to electronic form for the ebook, and once that's ready, listing, away we go.
I love it.
That's exciting.
Congrats on the success, man.
I know,
Congrats on the hybrid publishing. Congrats on making it through this process.
Thank you.
You've done something amazing. I'm really enjoying reading it. I know the people watching this and listening to this will enjoy reading it as well.
Thank you for saying that. And that's why I picked you guys, because like you wanted to read it. And I was like, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
You guys are awesome. You guys did a great job on the promo videos and this. So I wanted this to be my first interview or podcast because you guys are awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate the kind words.
Your attention to detail, to try to capture the feelings of it. I can't, you know, pick anybody better to start with, but also, you guys have found the boxing niche. It's a very small, tight-knit family, and you guys are doing it right, man. You're really respecting it, and you're doing it from a good angle.
I'm not supposed to cry on the podcast, man. You know, I'm going to be tough like you. You don't cry. I don't cry either, man. That's not a big deal.
It's, you know, it can go wrong. It can be jokey.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing well. You're doing it
Thank
well.
you, sir. I appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words.
Yeah.
Go buy the book. Make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Yes. Yeah? You can find us, UTBC Media. Check
Yeah.
out our Instagram, our socials. Check out that book.
This was fun, guys.